Hello, dear students. Today we will cover the remaining part of the chapter cell. First of all, we will study about the differences between a plant and animal cell, and then the various cell organelles present inside. So let's start. As you can see in front of you, the plant and animal cell diagram is mentioned, and you can see the structural differences between the two of them. The plant cell has the outermost wall as the cell wall, whereas in case of the animal cell, the outermost layer is the cell membrane. The next layer is the cell membrane in the plant cell. The plant cell has a prominent vacuole. The animal cell may or may not have a vacuole. The plant cell has plastids. The animal cell has no plastids. The animal cell has centrosomes, and these are absent in the plant cell. So let's study about these in detail. Before you move on to studying about them, you need to know what cell organelles are. The cell is said to be made up of a number of living components. The living components of a cell are called as organelles. So there are 7 cell organelles: the endoplasmic reticulum, which can be both smooth and rough; the ribosomes, which are the protein factories of a cell; the mitochondria, or the powerhouse of a cell; the Golgi apparatus, the delivery system of a cell; the lysosome, the suicide bags of a cell; and the centrosome and centrioles, which are found in the animal cell; the plastids found only in the plant cells, which are of 3 types: chloroplasts, chromoplasts, and leucoplasts. So these are the living components of a cell. Next come the non-living components, which are granules and vacuoles. Together, they are called as cell inclusions. The vacuole is a structure which is found primarily in a plant cell and forms the central structure of a plant cell. This vacuole has the central position, and its outer boundary is called as tonoplast. It's filled with a semi-liquid substance called cell sap. The vacuole basically has the water and the minerals dissolved in its cell sap. If the plant part is pink, purple, blue, violet, then in that case, the vacuoles dissolve a pigment called anthocyanin inside. It is this pigment which will impart that specific color to the plant part. The granules, on the other hand, have a function of storage. They can store starch, oil, or fat. Like, for example, in case of banana and potato, the granules will be storing starch grains inside. Now, before you move on to the cell organelles, you need to know about these 2 structures, the cell wall and the cell membrane. The cell wall is the outermost layer present in case of the plant cells. The cell membrane, or the plasma membrane, is the next layer. And inside it is the jelly-like substance which you call as the cytoplasm. So cytoplasm, along with the nucleus, we call that collectively as the protoplasm. So the plasma membrane is the inner layer, the cell wall is the outer layer for a plant cell, and for an animal cell, the plasma membrane or the cell membrane is the outermost layer. Now, the cell wall is giving rigidity and support to the plant cell. The cell membrane is inside. The cell wall is made up of cellulose, and it is freely permeable to anything in solution. Something which is dissolved in water can rapidly pass through the cell wall. The cell wall will not stop it. The cell membrane, on the other hand, it is made up of lipoproteins. And because of this composition with lipoproteins, it is semi-permeable, or the better term is it is selectively permeable. It will allow substances which the cell needs, not just anything in solution, but only whatever the cell requires. Now, if you look at an animal cell, the animal cell has the outermost layer as the cell membrane. Then there is the cytoplasm and the nucleus. And inside the cytoplasm, there are a number of these cell organelles. So let's start studying about these cell organelles. The first cell organelle is the endoplasmic reticulum. It forms as the cytoskeleton of the cell. So it is present in 3 dimensions, giving a specific shape, to the plant and the animal cell. It's of immense importance in case of the animal cell, which doesn't have a rigid cell wall. The endoplasmic reticulum is called as smooth if no ribosomes are attached to it. If ribosomes are attached to it, it is called as rough. When it is smooth, it will help in transportation of fats. When it is rough, it will help in transportation of proteins. The ribosomes can be present freely in the cytoplasm or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. When they are attached, the endoplasmic reticulum is called as rough. And when they are present freely, they synthesize proteins. If attached to the endoplasmic reticulum, the synthesized protein is transported via the endoplasmic reticulum. The mitochondria is the next cell organelle that we are going to study. It is called as the powerhouse of a cell. They produce energy in the form of ATP, which is the energy currency of a cell. The inner membranous folds of mitochondria are folded into a structure called as cristae. This cristae is unique and found only in the mitochondria. Another thing about the mitochondria is that they have their own DNA. So the mitochondria can divide on its own without assistance from the nucleus. Both mitochondria and cytoplasm help in respiration, but majority of respiration is carried out in the mitochondria. Therefore, mitochondria are called as the powerhouses of a cell. The next cell organelle which we will be doing is called Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus is a folded membranous stacks made up of cisterns, tubules, vesicles. These bud off and form secretory vesicles, which are called as lysosomes. These lysosomes will bring about intracellular digestion. The Golgi apparatus is not very well developed in case of plant cells. In plant cells, it is called as dictyosomes. But in animal cell, the Golgi apparatus will bud off and help in formation of lysosomes. The lysosomes have roughly 40 different types of enzymes. These enzymes will join the incoming food vacuole and bring about intracellular digestion. The waste material is then eliminated out of the cell. If a cell is injured or damaged, the lysosome will destroy that cell. If the cell is damaged beyond any repair, the lysosome will release all the enzymes within the cell, digesting all cellular components, or we call them as the suicide bags. Hence, they're called as the suicide bags. Now, these lysosomes have a purpose to bring about intracellular digestion. It's only when the cell is damaged beyond repair that the lysosomes will burst to kill the cells. The next cell organelle which you have is called as the centrosome. The centrosome is a structure found near nucleus in an animal cell. It is made up of two centrioles at an angle of 90 to each other. This structure, the centrioles, will divide and help in cell division or the nuclear division during in an animal cell. Now, in nuclear division, the chromatin material within the nucleus changes into structure called chromosomes. These chromosomes arrange themselves on a spindle. This spindle is formed when cell division will occur. And in this spindle, these two corners, they are made by the centrioles. So this is of immense importance in an animal cell only. The plant cells have developed another method of cell division, which does not involve the centrioles. But the centrioles, in case of an animal cell, initiate cell division. They begin cell division. The last cell organelle which we will be doing is called as the plastid. And the plastids are of three types: chloroplasts, chromoplasts, and leucoplasts. The chloroplasts are the plastids which have structures called thylakoid having the pigment chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is that pigment which helps in the process of photosynthesis. Since it helps in photosynthesis and prepares food for the entire plant, it is called as the kitchen of the cell. It's a very loose term, but it is still retained. The chloroplasts are called as the kitchen of the cell. Now, chloroplasts, just like mitochondria, have their own DNA. So they bring about the division of the chloroplasts on their own without involvement of the nucleus. The chloroplast has the pigment chlorophyll. All green plant parts have chlorophyll. It is this chlorophyll which traps the sunlight for the process of photosynthesis. Now, besides the chloroplast, there are two more plastids, the chromoplasts and the leucoplast. The chromoplasts are found in the parts which are red or yellow colored. They have the pigments which are red or yellow in color. The leucoplasts are found in those areas where starch is stored. Their primary function is to store starch. They do not store any pigment in them. The chromoplasts have yellow or red color. If they have yellow color, the yellow pigment in them is xanthophyll, and the red pigment in them is carotene. The yellow pigment, xanthophyll, imparts yellow color, orange color to various plant parts. The carotene imparts red color to various plant parts. Fruits and vegetables can display this color because of xanthophyll or carotene. But generally, these three pigments, the chlorophyll, xanthophyll, and carotene, are present together. If present together, the chlorophyll is a very strong pigment. It covers xanthophyll. Now, if chlorophyll is degenerated, when ripening of fruits takes place, the degeneration of chlorophyll occurs, due to which the yellow colored xanthophyll starts becoming visible. Same goes with carotene. The carotene is also masked or covered by chlorophyll. When ripening takes place, the chlorophyll degenerates to reveal the red colored carotene. The pigment anthocyanin, which imparts a blue, violet, or pink color to various plant parts. You can see the various fruits and vegetables which are pink and purple. It is present dissolved not in any of the plastids, but in the cell sap of the vacuole. This you already studied. The cell sap dissolves this pigment, imparting the blue, violet, purple color to the plant part. Now, the next structure which you are going to do is called as the nucleus. This is the largest cell organelle, which is present in the center for an animal cell and in the side for a plant cell, because in a plant cell, the central structure is formed by the vacuole. The nucleus has a nuclear membrane or the nuclear envelope having holes or pores inside. It has got a network of thread-like structures called chromatin fibers, chromatin threads, and it has got one or two darkly staining structures inside, which are called as nucleolus. Now, this nucleolus, along with the help of RNA and ribosomes, helps in synthesis of proteins. The nucleus is said to be the center for coordination of all activities in a cell. Inside the nucleus, during cell division, the chromatin fiber changes into structure called chromosomes. These chromosomes have got units called DNA, which is the hereditary unit of a cell. It is this DNA which determines our characters, the height, the shape of nose, the color of hair, the color of your eyes, your physical complexion. All this is determined by the DNA. We all have different number of chromosomes in the body. For example, Ascaris is having only 2 chromosomes. The chimpanzee has got 48 chromosomes. Now, chimpanzee also has 48, potato also has 48. What is the difference? The difference in the number of genes or the type of genes present in these individuals. The cat family, whether it's the common house cat or whether it's the lion or whether it's the tiger, they all have 38 chromosomes. They're so different from each other. Again, it is because of the genes present on their chromosomes. The garden pea has only 14 chromosomes. Crayfish has roughly 200. And common dog varieties, they have 78 chromosomes. So all organisms are different because of the genes present on their chromosomes, and yes, because of the number of chromosomes. So with this, we have finished the last part of this chapter. Hope you have understood. So wish you all the very best. Thank you very much. God bless you all.